Boom! We are off with another episode of Boo's Your Daddy, the podcast. I'm Dr. Alan Snyder, here with my girls, Stephanie, Blue, and True Dancona. What's up, Boo?
What is up? We also have never talked about how the fact that we open up the show, or you open up the show every time with boom. I like it, but it wasn't until a couple weeks ago that I realized that was a thing. So
Yeah,
that is,
I don't know.
is your version of me going boo out.
Kind of. It's the opening, it's the closing. Well, for me, we always do a countdown or a count-in, which if you ever look on our Instagram and some of the outtakes, Boo's Your Daddy, BOOSYOURDADDY. I've messed up the count a couple of times where I'm going up and then I stop, and it's kind of like a tick, 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 boom, and then we're off. Kind of a boom goes the dynamite.
Boo goes the dynamite.
Boo goes the dynamite. No,
There we go.
My favorite radio guy that ever does it, Colin Cowherd. If anybody knows me, knows I love Colin. I have a great Colin story for another time, but he kind of starts off his daily show every day the same way, is and welcome here, and it's good. It helps me flow into it. So for now, boom, we are off.
Boom, we're off, and are we ever off?
All right. Well, I got a lot to say, but I got to get right into the drinks right away because I saw what you're drinking, and it is one of my favorites. So go ahead and talk about your
Really? One of your favorites. So I get most of my beers at the deli by me, and they have a good beer selection, but we do this once or twice a week, so I kind of running out. So I figured, I'm like, oh, just grab one. I found one that said wheat. Just grab one you haven't had. So I am having Oberon American Wheat Ale. I don't think I've ever had it, but it's pretty. It's blue. It's got a sun. I like sun, and that's what I went with.
This is adorable because you got it based on the way it looks, and if you look at it, it's Bell's, which I'm assuming you just noticed it's Bell's Brewing.
Oh, sorry. Yes, Bell's Brewery. So I forgot that. I forgot the really important part of it is to say what brewery it's from. It's right. Bell's.
It is Bell's, and if you further look, you'll notice that Bell's Brewery is in Kalamazoo, Michigan.
It's in Comstock, Michigan, very close.
Okay, well, I've been to the brew house that is maybe that's where they bottle it, but I've been to the brew house in Kalamazoo, Michigan, because I played in a hockey tournament out there every couple of years with some friends. And Oberon out there, that's kind of like their Yingling. I mean, it is one of the true staples. It's a beautiful wheat beer. I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised if you've never had it.
I mean, I may have. I spent some time in Michigan, but I don't ever remember it. So I'm ready. I'm game. Let's go for it.
Let's go for it.
What do you got going on over there in terms of alcoholic beverages?
So I want to talk a lot about my weekend because I was down in the 410. I was down in the Rockville. I was down in the DC, and I went to this one beer place, and I was able to get the District of Champions Red Lager. And if you look at this, it's got a beautiful picture of the Capitol. It's called Beltway Brewing. And yeah, it definitely is a little bit of a baseball champion thing, but you also know that the Capitals won the Stanley Cup recently, and they went nuts with all types of Capital beer, and you saw Ovechkin drinking and getting drunk for 3 months straight, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know much, but I know that.
Yeah, he was going pretty crazy, and they made all types of cap stuff there, and I was able to get this because hockey season has started. It started. Well, it's 12. It's so far they're doing good. They have everybody in Canada. They're isolating from everything, and the playoffs are very complicated, but the Capitals are in the running to they get a bye to the second round already because they finished the regular season so high. So I am
But let's talk about which team has the best name.
Oh, the Kraken has the best name, but
there we go, the Kraken.
The Kraken doesn't start for it's either next year or the year after. They're not in this season.
Wait, is that really?
Yeah, well, they're so hockey was most of the way through the regular season when the freeze started.
That's why I was very confused.
Right. So the Seattle Kraken is going to be starting, I believe, in 2021 or maybe 2022. So they're finishing the hockey playoffs right now. And it's just for the teams from this current year. But they did expand them and let more teams in.
All right. Well, I got really confused about it. I didn't bring it up because I'm like, why is it starting mid-season? Is that
season? That's enough hockey talk because most people listening don't give a you-know-what. But I'm pumped. I'm wearing my Patronus is the Capitals goalie that Julia got me a couple years ago during the Caps run. I'm excited. It's a red lager. We ready to release that Kraken, Boo?
Yeah, let's release that. I once again have my dollar store beer. One of these days I'm going to invest in something, but
One of these days, Alice, to the
one of these
moon.
days to the moon. All right, ready? Let's go. It worked. All right.
Cheers.
L'chaim.
Love you.
L'chaim.
Yeah,
Love you too, babe. All right, so you told me, first of all, I do have to say, you're drinking Maryland, D.C. area beer, and it's not Natty Bo. So I'm going to have to call you out there right away. I'm sorry.
I had my fair share of Natty Bo on the Friday night we went out to one of my favorite restaurants. I posted a picture on our Instagram. It was a crab cake. It was baby back ribs. It was out of this world, and I got a 22-ounce Natty Bo for like $4 maybe. You know, Natty Bo, even Baltimoreans like myself, it's more that we think it's cool. The beer is not that good.
No, I understand. So Alan knows that I'm obsessed with this beer. I've only been to Baltimore once. My friend Kat, who pretty sure is a listener, me and her went down there. Remember the time I told you about the best non-date I ever had?
Yes.
He was the one that I second non-date ever went to see in Baltimore. So we went to is there like a Natty Bo brewery or something like that down there?
I don't think so.
Whatever. So we went to this place. That's where I got my Natty Bo sweatshirt, everything. Since then, I fell in love. Alan, I don't have it right now on the shelf behind me. I have the can of Natty Bo you bought me for my birthday maybe 2 years ago, and I never even cracked it. It's a good memory.
Do not crack that beer anymore.
No, listen, only a severe alcoholic would crack a 2-year-old beer. All right, so you said you had shit to talk about your weekend in Maryland. So let's go with that.
It wasn't so much shit, but, there was something that came up over the weekend that I kind of forgot about, and I thought it is going to be a service to all of our listeners because I am dropping knowledge today, and I'm going to post this on the Twitter and everything.
The Twitter.
So I was able to meet up with we didn't really have plans because it was Julia's birthday, and I just wanted to keep our schedule pretty open, pretty fluid. But I was able to meet up with my cousin, and we went with her son down to this dog park where Lady got to run around and have some fun. Yeah, the lady dog. And then I last minute made some plans with my buddy Jay, who's one of my baseball trip guys. Love seeing him, his wife. They have a beautiful son. They have a beautiful house. So we said, like, hey, can we come over? Let's barbecue. He goes, yeah, sure. What do you want me to get? I said, I'm just going to get some meat from the store. So the night before, we ended up going to a local, it's called Shoppers. I don't even know if they have them here. I certainly didn't go to Shoppers.
They do not.
Yeah, I didn't go to Shoppers growing up. And so we picked out some beautiful ribeyes for an afternoon barbecue, which was probably excessive, but Jay loved it because he reminded him, like, what are we going to Smith & Wolenski's for lunch? What type of hoity-toity people are we these days?
Listen, bringing bougie to the Maryland. Gotta do it.
I'm just at the point in my life where I'm not eating $4 steaks if I'm buying it at the store and cooking it on a grill. I mean, you can get a good steak and do that. So
I don't like steak. I like hot dogs. Uncle Ed calls them, Uncle Ed. Shout out to Uncle Ed. He calls them tube steaks.
Tube steaks. Oh, that is really good. So we got not tube steaks. I guess it'd be pancake steaks that were really good. And we went to Shoppers and we picked up some ribeyes, some corn, which was, I always love corn on the barbecue, and some crab chips. Do you know what crab chips are, Steph?
Are they they're chips that have crab seasoning?
Basically, yeah. They're Utz potato chips with Old Bay, salt, pepper. Got those. That they are so Maryland, and I can't get enough of these things.
I feel like on the trip that I had Natty Bo, I feel like, did I have maybe crab nachos? Is that like a thing down there?
You can put Old Bay on anything.
No, but it was specifically like we went to this bar that had like the best crab nachos or whatever. I don't know if that's a thing. Yeah, I was told it was.
It was most likely the good yellow tortilla chips with crab dip on it, which has Old Bay, which sounds fantastic. So sure, if that's what you had, I'll take 10.
Yes, but we also had something that was made with those Utz crab chips. And I remember, I think they were literally there for dipping in this crab.
It sounds great. I have to try it.
It was amazing. Anyways, keep going.
So we're checking out at the Shoppers, and of course, a couple of things were on sale, or they only got a couple things. So do you have your rewards card? And I quickly am like, let me try my parents' phone number. Doesn't work. We try hers. I start going through my phone, and no number that I could put in. I put in all my cheap family members that have rewards cards everywhere. And then I remembered an old trick that I have actually used out before. What's the local area code? Well, it's 410 where we are. So you type it in. This will work to anybody listening. Wherever you go on a trip, if you go to a local store, just make sure you know the area code or ask somebody the area code and type in the area code 8675309, like the Tommy Two-Tone.
8675309. That works?
Every single time. Because how many times have you been on a trip somewhere and like, do you have a rewards card? You say no.
Yeah.
And can I use yours? They're like, oh, I'm really sorry, you're not allowed to use mine. But yeah. I've done that even here in New York. Like one night tried to show off somebody. I have rewards cards for everything here. I think I went to a CVS and the lady said, do you have a rewards card? And I said, I turned to whoever I was with. I said, hey, watch this. And 212-867-5309. And without missing a beat, the lady goes, are you Michelle, Dwayne, Tyrone, or Scott? I said, I'm Dwayne, actually. And she goes, okay. Because so many people have done this.
Yes. So wait, can I interject quickly? So where I go back home upstate, I used to obviously have all the reward cards, but I go grocery shopping up there like maybe once, twice a year if I'm visiting my family. So there was one time we were having a barbecue at my brother's house and it started torrential downpouring. And it was going to have to go inside and ruin the whole party. And we were supposed to have a beer pong thing. So I looked up online. And it turned out that the local ShopRite sold fairly cheap tents. And for like $100. I was like, let me just go to ShopRite and pick up a tent, whatever. So I went and it was like on sale if you had the store card. I didn't have the store card, but I've been to numerous places before where I just turned to the person in front of me or in back of me, never had a problem. I went to this thing and it's $100, and with the card, I would have saved $13.
That's so enough. 13 is enough that you make moves.
Correct. I turned to the lady behind me and said, hey, do you mind if I use your card? She said no. She said no to the whole thing. She would not let me use it. So finally, the woman at the cashier was like, I'll just put in the store code. Like, it's fine. I think even she was like, that is some bullshit.
Yeah, it's so rude, but people get very upset these days. When I was in Ocean City a couple of weeks ago, somebody was checking out at a store, and this guy had to have been 100 if he wasn't 70, and he was buying cigarettes, and the cashier asked him for his driver's license because they have to scan it. They have to scan it every time. And as soon as she reached, because he showed his driver's license, she reached to scan it. He swiped it away. I was like, oh, no. Do not swipe. Do not scan that. Do not do this. And he clearly was old enough. So either he's afraid of Big Brother knowing where he is.
He's afraid of Big Brother. He's afraid of Big Brother.
Or this man is on the run, like straight,
He's afraid of Big Brother, but the second option is way better.
Yes. So that was something that was interesting happened, but I really must tell everybody that trick will work 100 out of 100 times. So you're welcome, listeners.
Thank you for that. The more you know. Dun, dun, dun.
Before we move on to another meat section, I just wanted to congratulate, I don't know if you saw this, but Mrs. Tube Steak herself got married.
She got married?
Yes, Mrs. Emily Laterman got married. I saw pictures. They did a quarantine proposal and they did a small. They're going to have a bigger thing, I think, next year or something. But I saw that. I just want to wish her congratulations because I know her best friend Lolo Felso listens to all her shows. Yes.
All right. Well, Emily comments on a lot of our stuff, so congrats to her. I did not know that the marriage happened, so another reason for me to say mazel.
Mazel. But yeah, when I think hot dog, she is Mrs. Tube
She loves
Steak.
hot dog. Yeah.
She loves hot dogs. And Emily doesn't. I don't know if I've ever had a bad time with that girl. She is always smiling. She is always fun. She is one of the best hearts of anybody I've ever met next to you.
I don't think I've ever rolled my eyes behind her back.
Never.
Which is a lot. Emily's amazing.
Never.
So congrats to her.
Definitely. Even when she's on one, I've heard her complain about some things. She's still cute about it. She's still fun about stuff. She's fantastic, and I've always loved hanging out with her.
Yes. Emily's good. Let's cheers to Emily. I'll feed the beer to my mic, but I will not touch it.
Bloop, 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 bloop. Very good. So we had kind of alluded last week because you did some great trivia, and I'm going to hopefully do as good a job as you did. But before we get there, you were talking about Oscars because you did the Oscar.
Yes, the Oscar story.
Yeah. So why don't we tell the listeners about our Oscar story?
We can, but I will preface this by saying no part of this makes me look good. I look horrible in this, and I'm okay with it.
I don't think either of us look good. I'm just glad that I lived alone at the time because I was a sloppy mess when I got home. And I'll fill you in what happened. Maybe you know.
Just keep going. I don't look great. You look better, but
it was
keep going. I'm fine. It's a good one.
So it was Oscar Sunday, and I go nuts for the Oscars. I try to watch all the movies and most of the nominated. Anybody that's basically guaranteed to win or really close to it. I watch everything, and I treat it, dare I say, like Super Bowl Sunday. I really, really
do not say that.
It's pretty close. I mean,
you know what? Forget it.
We've broken up. No,
we broke up.
No, we do a lot big things for Super Bowl Sunday, but I really do try to watch the Oscars. And there was one Oscar Sunday that you and I got breakfast, and we started with a boozy brunch, pay, what was it, $25-$30 a person. You get some food, and then they just fill you with champagne, and they hit a stopwatch on you for 90 minutes, 2 hours, who cares, whatever it was. And our guy who had the champagne, because that guy comes around, and then they're supposed to have a guy with mixers who comes behind him, and the mixer guy must have been having a cigarette that day because he just never came.
But do you remember that they were so busy so we were drinking like often enough, and they were so busy that finally the champagne guy just kept dropping off bottles of champagne at our table.
Yeah, I don't think
that was the biggest problem.
Right. Realistically, let's not exaggerate. How many bottles we drank? 2 total. I mean, it wasn't insane, but
I'm gonna go with 3. I'm gonna go with 3. But yes, maybe. It wasn't crazy. Yes.
Right, and that was fine. It was a great brunch, and we had a great time. I don't remember what we were talking about or anything. And then, of course, being right in that area, because we went down to like 22nd and Broadway-ish, I said, I know a great place. I see here. I got a great place for beer. And then we went to Flatiron Hall, and we ended up getting a liter of beer or something. We just sat, and we were talking. I really wish I could remember what was so engaging, but I don't know. When I'm with you, we talk.
I literally forgot that part happened. I thought it was one to the other, and now that you're saying that, I'm like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, we definitely went there, and then I was thinking we should go get barbecue because my favorite place in the world is Hill Country Barbecue down on 26 between 6th and Broadway or 5th, whatever's there. And we were going there, and I ordered some food, I think, to go. And while we were sitting waiting for it, we're like, oh, they have a tequila shot and beer special, and they have Lone Star beer, which is very good. And the best part of Lone Star beer, the Lone Star beers have those little cap games that you lift the thing up, and you have to figure out what the hieroglyphics spell out.
Yeah.
So we sat there, and I was wearing, because it was still coldish, it was like Marchish, I had my green, very, very green ski jacket on, and you go to the bathroom, and then the next thing I remember waiting around is the host or somebody comes up and says, were you here with somebody? I said, yeah, my friend Stephanie. He goes, there's a lady downstairs who's saying green jacket, green jacket, green jacket. But they knew exactly who I was, so they came up, and I found you, and I said, what are you doing? I don't remember. And so the rest of my night was going home, starting the Oscars, and falling asleep with barbecue basically on my face, in my hand, sitting there, and waking up at the exact moment that they had read Best Picture, La La Land, Just Kidding, Moonlight. And I was just, I was coming to, I was so befuddled. I wasn't even sure that was real because I was in such a state of daze that barbecue, I was, what's going on? But La La Land, they just said 2 winners. They made it. Oh, geez. And I cleaned up everything. I went to bed. I said, I'll figure this out tomorrow. And then the next day I texted you and I said, Boo, I'm hurting today. This was not a good yesterday.
No, it was not. So I was I don't remember why I was lost. So the bathroom, I think, ended up being downstairs. And there was nobody down there. So I think I got very confused because nobody was sitting down there in the dining room. So I kind of came out of the bathroom. It was completely empty. I had no idea what was going on. And I was inebriated enough that I was like, I don't even know what I could say right now. But I knew how you had your lime green thing. And I mean, I remember it like it was yesterday. I just kept saying green jacket, green jacket. I texted numerous of our friends and said, I can't find Alan. Please call him and have him find me. I was so lost. I can think of 2 people that I texted. I'm like, can you call him? I called you, texted you. You were literally 6 stairs up from me. But I was...
In your defense, that is one of the bigger restaurants in that area.
It was big. It was big.
The restaurant is very big.
And that good beer with that really, really shitty whiskey or whatever it was. I mean, that was the...
Oh, it was whiskey. You're right. We had whiskey, not tequila.
Yeah, it was whiskey.
It was definitely whiskey.
It was whiskey. That was the worst. But it's a good story because, you know what? It's always a bad story when one of you is a sloppy mess. When both of you are a sloppy mess, it makes the story just amazing.
I kept it together, but it was the rest of it. Like, again, I was just at home so excited, and I think the awards started, and next thing you know, it was almost like I blinked my eyes and woke up and was like, wait, what just happened?
Yeah, I know, because you texted me and were like, hey, asshole, I missed all the Oscars. And I was like, well, that happens.
That's definitely what happened. So that was that good story. Stephanie.
Yes, Boo.
Can we move on to trivia?
We can move on to trivia. Let's go for it. I got a piece of paper ready. So,
because you gave the Oscar movie music award trivia, and we've actually gotten some really good responses from some of our friends. And
yes, I had a family member text me, and she was like, that was amazing.
It was great. You did a great job. The Emmy nominations came out recently.
Oh, no. You know I don't watch TV.
That's fine. But it was more in the car. Julia was talking the other day, and she said, who is one away from an EGOT? So do you know what an EGOT is?
Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, Tony.
Very good. So we looked at the list of people that are just one away. And my trivia for you is I am going to tell you 3 awards for what they won for. You have to tell me who the person is, okay?
Are you going to tell me the movies or anything?
Absolutely.
Oh, okay. I thought you were just going to be like, okay. All right, got it.
All right. Question number 1.
Okay.
This person won an Emmy for hosting the 58th annual Emmy Awards. Oh, wait, hold on. I got to start over. I messed that up.
Wait, can we start back at the beginning? I have to tell you what their last thing that they were nominated for was, or who the person was?
You're going to tell me the person
okay,
who is 1 award away from an EGOT.
Got it. Okay, we're good.
Number 1, this person won an Emmy for hosting the 58th annual Tony Awards. This person won their Tony for The Boys of Oz. And this person won a Grammy for The Greatest Showman.
Okay.
Number 2, this person won an Emmy for a self-titled album, or maybe it was a self-titled show that was called...
But there's 2 different things.
Okay. This person won an Emmy for a self-titled performance called Diva Las Vegas. They won a Grammy for Wind Beneath My Wings. And they won a Tony for Hello, Dolly.
Okay.
Question number 3. This person won an Emmy for Mad About You, a Grammy for Best New Artist, and a Tony for Kinky Boots.
Oh, my. Wait, an Emmy for Mad About You?
Yeah, that was kind of a weird one, but that's what they won an Emmy for.
Kinky
Boots should get...
Kinky Boots doesn't help me, to be honest.
It's a dead giveaway.
Mad About You, a Grammy for what?
They were Best New Artist. I think it was back in the late 80s.
I'm done on that one.
That's okay. Number 4. This person won a Grammy for Believe. That's the name of the song.
Okay.
An Oscar for Moonstruck, and an Emmy for a self-titled performance that was called Farewell Tour.
Okay.
And
screw that one up too.
That's okay. Number 5. This person won an Emmy for Boardwalk Empire, a Grammy for No Direction Home, and an Oscar for The Departed. If you're really struggling on these, I'll give you more hints.
Yeah, no, I'm struggling on them, but it's also just because I don't see a lot of movies, so that's probably why I'm struggling.
That's
All right,
okay.
So this one is an Emmy for Boardwalk Empire, a Grammy for No Direction.
No Direction Home. I don't know what it is. That's not giving you anything. But the Oscar for The Departed should give it away.
It's not.
All right.
All right, let's just go with what I have. I mean, it's not great, but I'll just go with what I have. I mean, that's how it's supposed to be.
Number 1, Emmy for hosting the 58th Annual Tony Awards, a Tony for The Boys from Oz, a Grammy for The Greatest Showman. This person needs an Oscar. Who is that person?
Hugh Jackman.
That is correct. 1 for 1. Beep, 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 beep.
Beep, beep.
Number 2, this person won an Emmy for a self-titled performance called Diva Las Vegas, a Grammy for Wind Beneath My Wings, and a Tony for Hello Dolly. This person is?
Bette Midler.
Bing, 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 bing. Very good.
Bing, bing, bing.
Very good. Number 3.
I would just say it goes very downhill from here.
I'll help you out. Number 3, this person won an Emmy for Mad About You, a Grammy for Best New Artist, and a Tony for Kinky Boots. So you have any idea?
All I got is Paul Reiser.
All right. So Kinky Boots.
Which is not right.
Kinky Boots, I believe she wrote all the music for. She is a it's a she. She's a very famous, I guess, 2-hit wonder from back in the day who now does advertisements for, I think, psoriasis. No?
Nothing.
And girls, they want to have fun. Oh, girls just want to have. Any idea?
Lauper?
Cyndi Lauper is correct. She is an Oscar away from an EGOT.
What did it have to do with Mad About You?
I think she might have directed an episode or something, or she was.
Oh well, that's. Okay. I knew it wasn't Paul Reiser, but that's all I could think of. Is it Paul Reiser or Reisner?
Reiser.
Okay.
Which
I
think they're rebooting that right now. Number 4. This person won a Grammy for Believe, an Oscar for Moonstruck, and an Emmy for a self-titled thing called A Farewell Tour.
I don't think this is right, but I got Michael Jackson.
Okay, no. And it's a she.
Okay. Give me one more hint then.
Do you believe in love after love? After love, after love, after love. I can feel something inside myself.
Why do I want to say Whitney Houston? That's not right either.
That is not
wait,
right.
Wait.
You're right there. One word.
I know. It's on the tip of my tongue. I'm not gonna get it. I can't get it. Give me the initials of her.
It's a one-word person. Like, they don't have a last name.
Oh, Cher.
It is Cher. Very good.
I get a quarter of a point for that, maybe?
I'll give you a quarter of a point. Sure.
All right. This next one I don't even have a guess.
Okay. If I told you it's a man, does that help?
Nope.
So they directed an episode of Boardwalk Empire. Who cares about the Grammy because you don't know it? And then the Oscars for The Departed.
I mean, all I have is Martin Scorsese. That's all I got.
Martin Scorsese is the correct answer.
All right.
Very good. Very good. So
all right, good job. That was fun. That was a really good one.
Very good. Yeah, there's a lot of good ones. And then the other thing I learned about this while doing some research is there's something called a PGOT, which is the next level up.
What's uh Pulitzer Prize?
You would think that, but I think it's actually a Peabody Award.
Is that for journalism?
I think they're all in the same vein type of
It's a smart person thing.
Yeah,
me and you are never winning a Peabody for whatever it is. We're not winning.
Definitely not. And I know you had something you want to talk about. Before I get to that, I was berated by one of our friends because I was talking about Mythic Quest and it being on, I didn't know the network, or I said the wrong network, and they were like, it's on
Mythic
Apple.
Quest.
Remember last week?
No.
We were talking about a show with Mac from Sunny. It's called Mythic Quest.
Oh, yeah.
And I said the wrong network, and they were like, it's on Apple. I want a retraction on your next episode. I was like, fine, it's on Apple. Great. Okay.
I have one guess to who it was, so
I'm not giving them the satisfaction, so let's just move on.
I know who it is. You know what? I think I'm gonna save the other thing till next time because I think we've already got a good amount of stuff.
Yeah,
Are we over?
We're doing a great job. We're at 30 right now. But
all right, so we'll go. You have to edit that part out.
I do.
All right, so we'll go with what I have. So you know that what's like the only thing in the world that I love right now?
Me?
And my main one of my main obsessions besides you.
It's football. I mean, football.
It's football.
Yeah,
it's football is, and I realized actually, you know, like I feel like at every point in someone's life, they get like a epiphany to what their like dream job or goal in life is. Like if I could do anything. For years and years and years, I had no idea, and I know it sounds dumb.
Wait.
But
No, stop it. Nothing that you're saying right now sounds dumb. I started a podcast because of what you're about to say. Because I am a physical therapist that is not quitting doing what I'm doing to be a comedian, but I like making people laugh. So this is why I'm doing what I'm doing. And whether we have 5 listeners or 500, if I make one person smile every now and then, that makes me happy. So tell me what your dream is, and I respect
So what
it.
my dream is I entered football very late in the game, the first season of fantasy football, fell in love. Second year, fell more in love. And the third year, which is this past season, is when I really started like, okay, I'm paying attention to everything, watching every Seahawks game. I ended up as a Seahawks fan. So pandemic started, I've talked about this, ESPN gave out free Game Pass. It was only supposed to be 3 months, and then the pandemic kept happening. So they extended it. It was only supposed to be extended until July, and it still says it, but it still works for me, so I'm just keeping it going. Shh. So anyways, so I have had, since I've been here, I've watched 2012 through 2018. So I've seen every single game that Russell Wilson has been in. And it's one of those things that sometimes it's just in the background. It depends on what teams they play. Depending on what teams they play, if for some reason I hate when they play the Cardinals, I don't know why. It just never, that's like a in the background, look when someone makes a touchdown kind of a thing. But it was the kind of thing that I realized after like months of watching it. I was like, I don't think, and again, I'm going to say this sounds dumb, and it may not sound dumb. I have not found anything that makes me this happy in a very, very long time. It makes me insanely happy. But what I started a couple months ago is, so we're going to talk about football, but we're going to talk about it in a different way because we're going to talk about football announcers.
Okay.
So in NFL Game Pass, you have the option of, you can slow it down to like 45 minutes. They take out all the announcer stuff, all the timeouts, whatever. I tried. It's impossible to follow. Every break, whatever. It's not worth it. So I watched the full thing, and as a somewhat newbie to it, it kind of helped me because I kind of understood more what was happening. And a while ago, I started actually like writing a couple of things down because these announcers are kind of amazing. And I know there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff where people are giving them stats and whatever. First thing I noticed, I can only speak to what I've seen for these seasons. I've only seen one game with a woman in the announcer booth. They're always on the sidelines talking to the coaches and the players. These girls are smart as women are as smart as can be. They know all this stuff. So it's not like it's easy for them, but I've also noticed that they're just never in the booth. It's always guys. So let that go. That's going to be a whole another episode. But so we're going with the refs and the announcers and the amazing things that they say. So the announcers, I know that there's people behind the scenes that give them the stats that they're supposed to talk about, but it's kind of amazing because like someone makes a touchdown and that's a newbie that is his second game of his career, and all of a sudden they give you 900 facts. I don't know how they're getting the facts that fast, but it's kind of amazing because someone's feeding it to them that fast. And I was just thinking, I was like, if I had that job, I would get fired right away because I would do something like, he wins every home game on a Monday night where it's raining and he eats his bowl of spaghetti that same day. Like I would get fired in 2 seconds.
I thought you were going to say like you'd say something inappropriate. You would just add on
I would just add on asinine things, just the things because I feel like people would be like,
he does?
Yes,
he does.
He does.
Yeah.
He does. And so I would add that in. And the other thing I like about it is when they talk often, they give predictions like this is what needs to happen, this is what doesn't need to happen, whatever. And I hate when they give very, very obvious advice, like they need to convert this third down. Like, yeah, no shit. Like, that's how they'll continue playing football. And there was one game I was watching a couple of weeks ago, and the announcer had said something like he needs to make this third down or like he needs to do a hook to the right or whatever. And when it finally happened, he said to the other one, he was like, see, I told you. And all I could think in my head, I was like, it's not like you said, hey man, if the guy does hopscotch into the end zone, he'll make it. Like that is the point of it. But so I wrote down a couple of things because the announcers, they're pretty even-keeled and the refs are even-keeled. But sometimes crap comes out of their mouth that is hilarious. And it's only hilarious to people that have a extremely dirty mind, which happens to be
the two of us.
You and me. All right. So most of it's just like dick jokes, but it's very, very easy. So there was one that someone was trying to tackle him and could only get him from around the back, and he kept trying to get inside to get the ball, and all the announcer kept saying is he won't let him inside of his body. He will not let him inside of his body.
Clench your butt cheeks. Clench them.
Clench your butt cheeks. Another one was it was a wide receiver that was his thing was going as far as possible, as deep as possible. And that was he was kind of like the Hail Mary guy. But the announcer said he is the one that you really, really want very deep. There's another thing where like they call the defensive line like D whatever, but the other day when they announced like, hey, let's check out Seattle's D, I was like, yeah, let's do that because I would love it.
Except they were talking about the fat lineman. You were thinking about Russell Wilson.
I was thinking about Chris Carson, Russell Wilson, Marshawn Lynch, Bobby Wagner, all the day. I want to see all the day. And then the next two come from games where there were, I think it's a 2012 season where they had the replacement refs for like half the season. And they just didn't know what they were doing at all.
Well, that was the Seattle Packers where the one referee was touchdown, the other one.
The Fail Mary. Yeah, the Fail Mary. Yeah, so one of the announcers just ended up saying, they're pretty, like I said, even-keeled. They say very TV-friendly things. And something happened, and one of the announcers, he just said, holy crap. And you could tell right away that he was like, oh, I shouldn't have said that. So during this game, these refs didn't know enough to whatever. So one of them threw a flag for no reason. Nobody had any idea. He threw a flag, and they threw a flag, and he came back, and he was like, there is no foul. And the announcer shaded him so much. He was like, if there's no foul, don't throw a flag. Like, just
do your job or don't do your job.
Just do your job. Don't throw it. So I think that these are, and the last one with replacement refs is these guys got so many fouls wrong, like lost games, like we said, the Hail Mary. And there was one where the ref called out, like, penalty on X to X number. And all the announcers were like, there's nobody with that number on either team. And the ref didn't clear it up at all. He just kept going. So they were like, we have no idea who the foul was on. Just somebody, whatever. So I found that entertaining because obviously I focus on the football, but when you listen to these guys all the time, you get to kind of know their personalities and whatever. And I think the bigger dicks they become, like you could tell, like they just fed up bad refs, whatever. They want nothing to do with them. So that was my takeaway for football. I think that was enjoyable. It's not really something that's super talked about because they're not football players. But they spend so much time there that they got shit to say.
It's actually hard to fill in that time. And, we'll probably talk about this more another time, but baseball, sometimes they just get silly because it's 4, 5, 6 hours and you can only tell the same back in 1975. I had to do this. Oh, yeah, it's very much like that. So I have my own stories, but I guess we'll save those for another time.
I went a little long, I know, but that's how I feel about football, and that's how I feel about football announcers.
That's all right, Boo. Well, thanks for sharing your football grief or your football swagger.
Everything about football I love, so we're good.
Other things I love is you. How about that?
Oh, I love you too. I love you so much. You and your headphones.
All right, Boo. Let's wrap this up.
All right,
everybody, I hope you had a great time following us. Make sure you're, YouTube, Instagram, Spotify. We love the support. Boo out.
Boo out.